Hello and good afternoon. Thanks for joining. This is Stone Podcast. Tonight, I would like to speak a little bit about things to consider when choosing a career. One moment is would like to know if anybody is on. Okay, things I wish I knew. Okay, sorry. I'm trying to get my... Things to consider when choosing a career. Start with the end in mind. I'm getting a little bit of feedback, I'm not sure. Okay, let me take this out. Things to consider when choosing a career. I would say to start with the end in mind. What do I mean by that? Will this career that you're choosing to embark upon, will this career be able to sustain your lifestyle? Meaning house, cars, vacation, kids, where you would like to live. I wish I had researched and calculated how much pay I would be getting when starting a career. And I would think it would be a good idea to do some research, right? I would say to accumulate based on what you want. Accumulate how much money it's going to take to sustain your lifestyle, right? And then multiply that to sustain your lifestyle for the month. Then multiply that amount by 12 in order to get a base price of what you think that you would need in order to live the life that you want to live in whatever state or country that you decide to be at. I think it's imperative that you do a little bit of research as to what you would like to do and how much it's going to cost. Because you might think that your pay is going to be a certain amount because you didn't research it, and then you realize, oh man, this degree that I went for, I'm not able to sustain the lifestyle that I want. So I would say to research, do a little bit of calculation, and see how much money you will need for that particular lifestyle that you might want. The median household income, according to the U.S. Census, is actually $70,000. So that means 2 people in a household. So you have to figure out how much money you would like to make per year, okay? So that means the average person in the United States, the average, makes about $35,000 a year. So if you calculated that number for the 12 months and it's $200,000 for this particular lifestyle that you want to live, accumulated with savings, cars, kids, food, vacation, then hey, by all means, do what you got to do. But make sure you calculate that before you embark upon a career choice. One second. Another thing I would say is don't choose the easiest thing to do in school. Challenge yourself. That's something that I wish I had did. When I went to school, I totally did not challenge myself. I was very foolish in how I made my schedule. I did not capitalize on the most classes I could take within a certain period of time in order to graduate, because when you get to college, what I didn't know is that you make your own schedule. And because of that, I did something very foolish. I decided I'm not going to school on Fridays. So that just shows you my frame of mind that I was at when I was going to school. I was not focused. I was not really interested in doing whatever it is that I came there for. And I didn't push myself. Actually, one of the classes that I did decide to take was physics. I pushed myself to take physics, that one class. And it's the one class that I remember because I was actually engaged. Even though it was very difficult, I didn't get the highest grade in the class. It taught me a lot. Physics taught me a lot. And it's a class I didn't necessarily have to take, but I took it. And I'm very glad that I did. I would say another thing is to stay ahead of the course materials. Really and truly, the professors, my professor told me, well, told the entire class, said, I do not care if you come to class or not because I'm still going to get paid. And that was very sobering for me to hear. For what it was worth, I thought, oh man, I can't believe that, you know, I didn't push myself anymore. Oh, So I Hustle said, in hindsight, how would a teenager know to push themselves? Well, I'm not quite sure how they know, but I think having some form of, thanks for the comment though, by the way, Side Hustle, So I Hustle, sorry. I think having a mentor is very important. If you could hear me well, can you please let me know, because I don't know what this thing sounds like, if it's too low or too high. Yeah, I think having a mentor is actually a good idea when deciding if you want to go to school to increase your education, because someone who's been there before or knows more about life, somebody who's wiser than you are, can be able to better help you to push you in the right direction, and might even be able to see your talents before you necessarily are able to see them, because that's another thing. Many people sometimes see your talents before you actually see your talents. So I think it's very wise to get yourself a mentor. Thank you very much, So I really appreciate your commentary. Another thing I wish I did or I thought of is, how much is this career needed in the marketplace? Something that I think is very important, okay? Because you can go and do a career because you like it or passionate about it or whatever the case might be, but that passion might not translate into dollars at the end of the day. And you might not think money is important now, but when you start having kids and responsibility and have to pay back loans that you took out for school, you're going to see how important it is that you had chose something that is, one, can pay you well, and the more you specialize in a certain field, is the more, how should I say, is the more chances you have as a skill that's needed, is the more chances you have to get or be in a job where there's a high demand. I think specialization is very important. Specialize, specialize, specialize. I can't stress that enough. Something I did was, I actually went to school and I decided to go to a 2-year school at first, which was a horrible idea for me because many of those classes that I took didn't translate when I decided to go to a 4-year school. So imagine spending thousands of dollars going to school and then all those credits do not transfer over. And it made me very discouraged, and that was one of the reasons also why I kind of got discouraged from going to school and eventually dropped out. Another thing is to think about what is going to be the cost of your education, not just the monetary cost, but also the time that you're going to spend there, right? Make sure that you think about what is the return on your investment, right? What is the return on you being there for 4 years, whatever amount of hours that you've accumulated going to school within that time frame. Think about what's the return of investment. Imagine going to school, spending $200,000 in a career that's not worth nothing, and then get out and one, not able to find a job within that space, or two, you get a job, but you're getting paid $35,000, $40,000 a year when you have a loan for $200,000, $300,000, right? Because many times we go to school and we don't necessarily graduate in 4 years or 2 years, whatever your degree, whatever time that, you know, you're going to take to get a degree. Sometimes it just doesn't work out that way. Life happens, you know, parents get sick, students have kids, accidents happen, people change their majors, and that's something, if you focus, do not change your major. Choose something and finish it. Choose something and finish it. Know what your aptitude is and think about what it is that you're good at. Choose a major, finish it. Even when it gets difficult, finish it. You can do it. I have faith in you. Okay. And another thing is, a lot of times we don't know what we want to study, right? I graduated from high school in 1999. I didn't have as much resources as today as to find information. One thing that we have right now is the Resource Bureau of Labor Statistics. They have all the jobs, careers that's in the in the world, and they show you how much it pays, what is the level of education you need, how is that job or career, how should I say, how much it's going to grow within the next 5 to 10 years. It tells you what it is that the job entails, what you're going to be doing, what's going to be your responsibilities. And I think that's a great resource, because many times, you know, being young, I didn't know what was out there and what were my options. It tells you if it's math-centered, science-centered, English-centered, you know, so it basically is a guidance for you to try to figure out what it is that you want to do and what it is that a job entails. Where in the United States they're more focused. Very cool. Resource Bureau of Labor Statistics. It gives you all that information. Very cool. Another thing I wish I knew. Take note of your aptitude. Be laser focused on what you want to accomplish, and once you start, commit yourself to the program until you're finished. I mean, I said that before, but just commit to something and finish it. It's more than just going to school and getting good grades, right? It's the people that you meet, the people that is around you, that you have a community with when going to school. Many times, these individuals that you go to school with are even able to help you later on to get jobs, and some of them will be in certain positions to give you a leg up, as to help you to start upon your field of career. So be good to people in school. Try and be around and be in clubs and meet as much people as you possibly can, because that is very important. You never know who you're going to meet there. Sometimes certain schools you go to, and it's owners of CEOs, it's their kids that go into the schools and stuff. So just think about that, right? If somebody owns a company and you went to school with their son becomes a CEO, hey, there you go. You treated him good in college, he's not going to look past you necessarily when it's time to get a job over somebody he or she doesn't know. That's just the way of the world. It's not necessarily what you know many times, it's who you know. But you need to know something, because if you don't know anything, you're going to be in trouble. You have to make sure that you are worth your weight in gold when it comes to what it is that you chose to specialize in. Be the best in your field. And another thing is that I did was, I was actually, when I first went to school, I was studying physical therapy. And what I did was I got a job within that community to see what the work entailed and if it was something that I was going to enjoy. And like I said, I did not finish. I wasn't focused. And I just wanted to take the easy way out. And because taking the easy way out, I didn't graduate. I just wasn't focused. That's the end of the day, I was not focused. Acquiring debt, which is a very serious topic that I think a lot of people don't understand or talk about enough, right? Say, for example, to go to school for a semester is $50,000, right? Let's say for $50,000, right? So how are you going to pay that money back, right? You need to have some form of a plan as to how you're going to pay that money back, especially if you're not in college as yet. Start writing, start writing letters to get scholarships and to get grants. Grants you don't have to pay back, loans you have to pay back. So try to avoid loans and try to get scholarships and grants. I don't know if they still have it, but when I went to school, they had this thing called Pell and Tap, I believe it is. Pell and Tap. And what I did with Pell and Tap was I used that money to pay for my classes. Some people were using that money to go on vacations, to buy clothes. They weren't using it for their education. It's money divvied by the government to help you to to pay for your education. And people were doing the wrong stuff with this money that was allotted to them. So just remember, your Pell and your TAP is for your education. It's not for your personal spending. Another thing is, at the end of the day, you're going to have to, while you're going to school many times, there's a forbearance period, meaning that you don't have to pay as long as you're in school. You don't have to pay your loan back, right? It'll be smart to pay that loan as you go. If you have a part-time job, use your part-time job to help to lower your bills, because once you graduate from school, Sallie Mae, Freddie Mac, all of them going to be hounding you for their money, and you're not able to put that money into bankruptcy, okay? So that debt goes with you till the day that you die, right? And that's why a lot of people today, they might make a lot of money, but they didn't pay their bills on time, so all the interest accumulated upon that, and now many of them are not even able to satisfy the loans that they received when they were in college. Some people are still paying, have been graduated from college for over 20 years and still paying for pizza that they bought on credit cards back in 1999. Trust me, it happens. All right. Another thing, how should I say? Yeah, nothing is worse. These are just my part in words. Nothing is worse than getting a degree that you can't earn a decent living with, or even worse, one that you never use, right? So just think about, what is it that you want to do with your life? Think about your passion. I'm not going to say for you to pursue your passion. Depend on what your passion is, right? Because many times our passions is not able to afford us a living. If your passion is something that, is in demand, by all means, go for it. But many of us, our passions are things that are fun, and it'll be wise to do certain things on the side while trying to do something that is in demand, right? So do not follow your passions. Dedicate yourself time for your passion, but just know that you need to make a living also. All right? People are going to tell you a lot of lofty stuff. Oh, just take out a loan. Don't worry about it. Take out a loan. Take out a loan. But they're not going to help you pay for it. All right? And it's horrible. The amount of stories that go around that people are not able to pay their school loans after going to school for so long because they feel whatever job that they got is not able to satisfy their standard of living. So they're very educated, but they're broke. Don't be that. And another thing is, just ask questions. People who are in careers that you might want to do, ask them questions to see what it is that they do, and if it's something that you would like, because you never know, right? You never know what you're going to end up doing, because many people go to college or trade school or whatever the case may be. But let's just say college, for example. They go to college, they graduate, and they're not even working in the field of study that they went to school for. All right? So thanks for joining today. I'm very glad that you were here with me tonight. And I'm not sure if anybody have any questions in the chat, but I would just like to say thank you, and we'll speak again some other time. Thanks for joining us today. Okay. Peace.